Well, hello, we are live and hello Facebook, how are you today? So I wanted to come on board today and answer or deal with a specific topic, which is all about how boozing is going to affect your weight loss or body shape change, or basically how much can we drink before it negatively affects either what we're trying to do in terms of weight loss or changing our body shape. So as people are joining me and coming on live, I'd love to know where it is that you're coming from. If you have any questions as I'm going through, do go ahead and ask them in the comments below. Feel free to tag somebody who you know also needs to hear this message or share it out on your page. I would very much appreciate it. And as people are coming on live, I will introduce myself. If you are watching me live for the first time or watching the replay, thank you so very much. My name is Lisa Barwise. I consider myself a wellness alchemist. That means that I'm the kick-ass catalyst in the transformation of women around the world, strong of mind, body and character. I'm the creator of Warrior Goddess Kettlebell Training, the author of the Warrior Goddess Body book and its 28-day and Wheel of the Year body shape change programs. And yay! Okay, so I thought I'd cover this topic today because I think it's a little bit timely, given that we spent most of yesterday afternoon having afternoon tea, which really was just an excuse for some nice cocktails and the occasional glass of bubbles. And I thought it'd be good to come and tackle this particular topic. So really it's not just a question of how boozing affects your weight loss and your body shape change, but really how much alcohol can you consume before it negatively affects you, okay? So I've written some notes here today because it's obviously quite an interesting topic of which there have been many, many different studies taken. So I'm kind of going to just draw from some of the information that I've researched over the years and also give you some kind of feedback in terms of what I've noticed for myself and with regards to my clients. So according to some researchers on the internet and other studies, alcohol is the worst thing that you can do for your weight loss, and it's the worst thing that you can do for building lean muscle, etc., etc. However, when you go to actually look at the studies, there is both positive and negative connotations with alcohol consumption. And yes, actually it can have positive effects for weight loss as well as negative effects. And I think that we just need to kind of set it into some context. So moderate alcohol consumption, which we assume is 1 or 2 glasses at any one time, rather than 1 or 2 glasses a day or 10 glasses at a weekend, which is more like of a binge drinking kind of concept, can actually not cause you to gain weight, but it has been shown that certain alcohol consumption can lead to weight loss. Now, what I think has happened in this particular case and what the studies have actually shown is that what tends to happen is obviously as we drink, we tend to reduce our appetite. We maybe don't want to eat as much. Sometimes, people choose drinking over food, and obviously that reduction in calories, even just for a short time, can have an impact on weight loss, okay? So it is true, if you actually consume less calories through food and you're drinking calories, you're going to actually lose weight. Now the problem with this, however, and this is what I find with clients that are even doing it with cups of tea or coffee, is that for body shape change, not specifically weight loss, you want to actually be consuming calories. You want to actually be eating enough food so that you can, and good quality calories, so that you can build lean muscle, so that you can, add curves to certain areas whilst you are learning, whilst you're able to shed that fat. So we're all about body shape change here. With the Warrior Goddess Body and Warrior Goddess Kettlebell Training, because it's all about the building of the lean muscle and the shredding of the fat. Now, if you're just interested in weight loss, which is making this mass smaller to this mass, completely undetermined of where it is, then consuming alcohol in this way can actually sometimes result in weight loss. But what tends to happen also is that there's some signs that it helps you with regards to your insulin sensitivity, which can also help you to burn fat too. And there's actually been some proven that ladies that were allowed a glass of wine as part of weight loss programs also lost a little bit more than those that were just allowed a glass of grape flavored water, when they did the controls. And I think that's also to do with a lot of reduction in stress hormones, women being very sensitive to stress and more sensitive to stress. And you can see how that would actually play out. However, what the problem with alcohol is it's not necessarily the extra calories from alcohol that make you fat, though continued and you know, 200 to 300 to 400 extra calories every single day will have an effect on your body. And you know, a glass of wine can be 200-300 calories, a pint of beer can be 400 or 500 calories. So consuming that every single day will increase your calorie load, but it's more about what happens with regards to the calories from alcohol. It's not the calories themselves, but the calories from alcohol, I'm just checking my notes, actually accelerates the rate at which the body stores fat. This is basically called blocking your fat oxidation. So basically it actually accelerates you adding extra fat. So if you did want to enjoy a drink, here's the notes for you. You ready? If you want to know, the best thing to do is not consume fatty foods whilst you're drinking, to reduce fatty foods from your diet that day, and to also get more of your calories from protein and carbohydrates on that day. So that's a little bit of a tip for you. But what we generally find is it's not necessarily the alcohol that causes the problem, it's what happens when we've consumed it. Normally, if you're not somebody who's, you know, affected by hangovers, by the lack of energy that you get afterwards, the, you know, demotivation to want to exercise, if you're not affected by any of those sorts of things, then consuming alcohol isn't necessarily that big a deal, okay? In terms of actually setting you back from building lean muscle or setting you back from burning fat. But as long as you understand where you get your calories from, you know, dry white wines, you know, spirits without sugary mixers, you know, reducing red heavy wines, or, you know, even sparkling wines can have an impact. Or some people can consume a glass of wine, a glass of red wine, for example, and it not affect them in any way. So it really just becomes about your own experience with alcohol. For me, I can consume wine or beer. I can consume gins or vodkas or other white spirits specifically. I try to avoid sugary mixers. I generally use tonic. I also avoid slimline tonics, so I do get some sugar through tonics or through water or through lime water, etc. As well. You know, but if you do consume, it's more the sugary drinks that can give you more of a hangover, or a sugary hangover, and it's the sugary drinks that are mixed with the alcohol that also add to the weight gain, because you're basically consuming more, you know, soft drinks and Coca-Cola and other sugary drinks. So that would be my, you know, if you are going to enjoy it, those are the drinks to stick with. Switch from wine, or just enjoy 1 or 2 glasses. Enjoy the glasses, you know, use it as a way to de-stress. That's fine. And again, it's about moderation, but moderation for you. So there's no point in me saying it's 1 glass here and 1 glass there. You'll know what the moderation is for you, and you'll know the tipping point by which, if I have too much, then I'm not going to want to exercise. If I have too much, then I'm going to eat more while I'm drinking, because that tends to happen too. And you tend to, you know, go for the fatty foods, and that's when it becomes an issue. So there's other studies in terms of lean muscle building that I wanted to put out there too, is that, you know, studies that were done with rats and other laboratory studies, that alcohol can impair, you know, muscle growth. But basically, you know, there is a couple of studies that said alcohol can impair protein synthesis, which basically means the building of that. It can suppress a little bit of your growth hormone, which is what builds your lean muscle, and it can spike your cortisol levels, which generally also spikes the fat storing hormones as well. So there is, you know, some people are more sensitive to that than others. People who are more stress sensitive tend to, you can use alcohol as a way to de-stress, and that can help them. Or there's a certain point by which consuming alcohol itself becomes stressful for the body. Maybe we don't sleep as well afterwards, you know, we tend to be a little bit more on edge, you know, once we've consumed. So that's the you know, the process by which you need to figure it out for yourself. So you need to kind of figure out, where is my tipping point in terms of, I can have 2 glasses and it be okay, I can have 3 glasses and it be okay, I can drink once a week with friends and it actually help me in terms of my stress levels, or I have 1 glass, I then want to have 10 glasses, I then want to go and have a kebab on the way home, and then I'm never exercising for a whole week because I feel so crap and my hangover's so bad. So it's really figuring it out for yourself and being really honest about what you think that you can do. But here's those tips again for you, just to give you some idea. So first of all, it's on the day that you're drinking, try to reduce the amount of fatty foods in your diet during that day. So try to get your sources from proteins and carbohydrates, so that your body isn't going to, metabolize the alcohol and, accelerate that into fat. Try to stay away from beers, fruity cocktails. Try to stick to dry white wines, or, a good red wine if you're only drinking one or two of those. And, get your calories from good quality source alcohol. Drink lots of water in between. And if you feel that the consumption of the alcohol is causing you to eat more or eat more fatty foods, then you know that you've reached your limit in terms of that. If it is causing you then to not want to exercise the next day, or you're doing it on a regular basis and your energy levels are starting to plummet, then it's either about changing up the alcohol or trying to change up how often or when that you drink, okay? And that's kind of it. It's like literally, there's no such thing as a bad thing. Alcohol has its purpose for certain people in terms of being social, in terms of helping you to relax, in terms of helping you to reduce your stress levels, which can have a positive impact. However, if you're really honest with yourself, could you still get those benefits from other things? Could you get those benefits from, going and having a relaxing bath, going and reading, going for a nice walk instead, meeting friends for a walk, or for, cups of tea instead of meeting for alcohol. So it has its place in terms of your own life and understanding it. And I'm always about having people understand that it's not about me giving you rules or taking things away, or you can't have this or you can't have that. It's you trying to work things out for yourself in terms of, well, if having my glass of wine on a Friday is really important to me, or maybe having that beer midweek is really important to me, then let that be what it is. We'll work it into your calories, we'll work it into your lifestyle, and as long as it's not impacting you in terms of your health, your ability to exercise, your sleep, you're still noticing the good positive changes to all of these things, then there's no harm, no foul. So I hope this was helpful. There's a lot of information out there in terms of different studies and things, but really, as I always teach, it's a lot about intuitive eating and understanding your own body type. So sometimes it's just one of those trial and error things. I know that there's a few ladies today that are still feeling okay, some feeling a little fragile, but most of them are just full of energy because they don't do this very often, or they just enjoyed themselves so much that it was a nice release and a nice social time together. So I hope you had a really lovely weekend. I hope you're feeling kind of motivated this Monday, and this was of help to you. If you know anybody that needs to hear this message, or you think that it was good for them to hear, go ahead and tag them or share this out on your page. I would very much appreciate it. If you do have a question specifically that you want answered about body shape change and you want to know the answers from a trusted source, then you can go ahead and PM me directly, private message me, or email me at hello@warriorgoddesskettlebelltraining.com, and I look forward to connecting with you all again next Monday. So peace.